During the full moon, do werewolves turn into humans? Is Tom Cruise right and Scientology is the only way? Answers to these questions and more on this episode of This Paranormal Life.
Hey!
Welcome back to the podcast. It is once again Tuesday. This is the only podcast where every week we dissect a different paranormal tale, claim, or case, and we get to the bottom of it.
Yep.
As always, Rory, we're just going to jump right into it.
Good. There's nothing I hate more than when a podcast f***ing waffles.
They like go frickin' pancake day on us and waffle all the way to the bank. Okay, I'm just going to jump right into it because it's a pretty crazy case.
Okay.
It's 1951 in St. Petersburg.
Right.
Florida.
Oh, that was a weird thing to pause at because you know it would throw me.
I was trying to throw you. Granted, keep you on your toes.
It was a sunny day in Rome, Georgia.
There were clouds looming in Paris, Texas. So rude whenever they just pick the name of a great place.
Yeah.
And it's always a tiny, shitty town, isn't it?
Of course. It was a sunny day in greater New York, but nowhere.
So we're in St. Petersburg, Florida in 1951, just to recap for y'all. And Miss Carpenter is walking to the apartment she rents out with a telegram for her tenant, Mary. Well, she climbs the stairs and arrives at the floor, where she knocks Mary's door.
I should have done that, sorry. That was Kit leaning across the podcast awkwardly.
I actually pulled my back.
You knocked over a glass of water as well.
I don't know if I can finish the podcast, dude. Also, I fried the electronics. Well, she might be out the back. And Miss Carpenter had a key, so she decided to just stick it in the lock, turn the handle, and the door handle is scalding hot.
What?
Roasting.
Fire.
She recoils in pain. Jesus Christ, that can only mean one thing. You're right, Roy. It's fire. She immediately runs to the nearest phone to call the emergency services. Before long, police were on the scene and busting down the door, action movie style, expecting a ferocious blaze, and let's just pray that she's not inside with it.
Right.
But as the door swings open, the apartment's fine. Where did all that heat come from? They dart around the room to look for clues and signs of Mary's whereabouts, but to their horror, they find what's left of her in an armchair in the living room. In the chair, 1 foot still inside its slipper, a single backbone, and Mary's skull also sitting
Jesus
there
Christ.
in a pile of ashes, but her skull is reduced to the size of a teacup.
Like a tiny skull, or like that's a piece of the skull that remains?
No, it's like a tiny skull.
A shrunken little skull.
A shrunken skull. Everything else is in a pile of ashes on the chair. There was almost no signs of a blaze, except anything made of plastic near the armchair was slightly melted out of shape, and in the corner of a room, a digital clock stopped at 2:26 a.m., presumably the time of her death.
Weird.
When evidence was sent to the FBI for investigation, they couldn't understand the circumstances of Mary's death.
They sent him a melted Barbie head. That's probably what it looked like. I would love it to be the person who hands over this evidence without any context. It's like, sir, what can you make of this? A tiny burnt head and a clock that stopped working. The policeman's like, I think I need to arrest you. I don't know what this is. I think you're going to prison.
I know. What case did this come from? What side did this come from? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't work here. I just wanted to show you some stuff.
Yeah, what can you make of this? It's like the bit we did about the guy that can't comprehend that he's being executed for what he's done.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, this dude is like brought to the jail cell. It's like, you're going to stay here, and then you're getting the chair. And he's like, and detective, the bars? What do you make of these? It's like, you are not grasping the seriousness of this conversation. What is your last meal?
Waffles, of course, but...
But what would you make of them?
Yeah, they didn't know what to think. Her body was almost completely cremated, requiring extremely high temperatures, except the blaze did not spread at all. Quote, "We request any information or theories that could explain how a human body could be so destroyed and the fire confined to such a small area and so little damage done to the structure of the building and the furniture in the room not even scorched or damaged by smoke. Mary's remains were..." I don't know why I find this funny, but in a room, if you imagine
I don't either,
scene,
Kit, personally.
I'm sorry.
I think it's pretty messed up.
I'm sorry.
That you even freaking giggled at that.
I actually have a diaphragm issue that causes everything to be freaking hilarious to me.
Ha! Sorry, it's just a tick that I have with my diaphragm. I'm actually really sad as shit.
If only the giggles did reflect my inner mood. I don't know why it's so aloof.
I know. Why is it so mysterious as well? I don't think we'll ever find who murdered him. So it sounded like you murdered him.
Something to say?
Sorry, no, it is the giggle again.
I really know nothing.
Or so you'd think. Well, that was just a weird thing to say. Don't say that if you know you're gonna giggle.
Yeah, that bit's not a tick.
Yeah.
The blood on your clothes, not a tick. That's evidence. That's what I might want you to think.
Bah! Sorry, I do that too sometimes. You need to see a doctor. I think you're dying.
How did you get this far in life? You're pretty well dressed. I don't know how.
That's the most terrible combo of things that you can do is just scream, but because it looks like you're laughing at the fact that you're screaming. If you're waiting in a shop and then just in the woman's ear in front of you, and turns around.
I have a condition. What's your condition? I'm a dick. I like to scare people. So they go into this room, and the room is pretty much fine. There's some scorching. Yes, some ashes.
Of course, yeah.
Or Mary were. They basically take the temperature of Mary's ashes, I guess, to see how recent this happened.
They're still warm. Well, I guess they might be, yeah.
They're 2,000 degrees.
Jesus Christ.
2,000. If you want to bake a cake, that's pretty hot. That's probably 180 degrees Celsius.
But isn't it if you heat ash, you get glass?
You get nano diamonds, I think.
You get Bitcoin? I don't know.
Ethereum, at least.
I don't know a lot about ash. But I'm fairly sure if you heat it, and maybe smash it together, it becomes glass
under very high pressure. Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Pressure and heat?
Yeah, I think that's why it's explosions. Because we covered that in Tunguska, didn't we?
We said it was aliens, actually.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So her remains are about 2,000 degrees.
You could roast a pretty schmallow on that bad boy. Sorry, that's so distasteful.
No, actually, that's what the chief investigator on this case said.
That's so offensive, sir. Sorry. Bah!
How are you the director of the FBI?
Everyone's afraid of me. You wouldn't say no to me. Bah!
I started as a janitor and I giggled my way to the top.
Giggled and screamed my way to the top.
The FBI, which of course stands for famous but incompetent, quickly brushed this case aside as an example of what they call the wick effect.
Right.
Meaning some fire source set her on fire and her body fat acted like candle wax and burned her up like a goddamn candle.
Good Lord.
Case closed as far as they were concerned.
Was she a robust woman?
I think so.
A hefty
lady? I think she was decently heavy set in the way that, old ladies are.
Yeah. But I mean, humans aren't just like little sticks of TNT, I've burnt myself numerous times.
And you don't just go up in flames.
I don't just explode. Yeah.
Just one of those firecrackers. No, not
twirling
again.
like a pinwheel, shooting sparks out of my ears. Exactly. That's not what happens to people. You know, you get a little bit of your burnt skin.
And what this reeks of is some pen pusher just, he wants to clock off for the day. This is the wick effect. Whatever. Next one.
Yeah, exactly.
This is below my pay grade. But one investigator wasn't satisfied. Professor Wilton Krogman, a celebrated expert in physical anthropology, also saw the crime scene, and he was left disturbed and puzzled by this case. Quote, "I find it hard to believe that a human body once ignited will literally consume itself, burn itself out, as does a candle wick. Just what did happen on the night of July 1st, 1951, we may never know. This case still haunts me." The head is not left complete in ordinary burning cases. Certainly it does not shrivel or symmetrically reduce to a smaller size. In presence of heat sufficient to destroy soft tissues, the skull would literally explode into many pieces. I have never known any exception to this rule. I cannot conceive of such complete cremation without more burning of the apartment itself. In fact, the apartment and everything in it should have been consumed. I regard it as the most amazing thing I've ever seen. As I review it, the short hairs on my neck bristle with vague fear. Were I living in the Middle Ages, I'd mutter something about black magic.
That's a great exit line.
It's good.
As I think about it now, the hairs on my neck rise. The matches that I hid under my bed, I will push further into the dark. Did I kill her? Yes, I did, but that is irrelevant.
Is that evidence? Absolutely not, and I will never go down for this.
Did I know the head would shrink to that size? Also, yes, I bought a shrink ray. I thought I could hide the body via shrinking. I have since sued the wizard responsible for the sale.
But no compensation is enough. For the death penalty, I will of course face.
Also, he shrunk my dick.
I should have known he was a cruel, cruel man by his pointy wizard's teeth.
And at the time of conversation, he was a goat.
So now I sit in a lonely prison cell with a dick too small to pee correctly.
It comes out thin, but with tremendous force. By utilizing this urine, I shall one day escape this prison.
It's very much like a power hose.
Who is he talking to? This is like the Prestige when someone finds this diary like years and years afterwards.
One day I will burrow to freedom and safety. The guard's like, I can hear you. Why are you talking like that in the second person? God damn. We're going to transfer you to maximum security.
Yeah. Shut up, tiny dick. Shut up, you guys. It was big ones.
Before I joined the FBI, I had a hog.
I was a pig with a hog. Now I'm a duck with a chick.
Like, we should just send him to a mental asylum. He doesn't need to be in prison.
Just set him free. I don't think he's going to hurt anyone. I don't think he knows where he is. He's just a duck with a chick.
Certainly a bizarre case. But anomalies do happen, right?
Right.
Were it a one-off, we could maybe accept the FBI's account of, quote, death by burning. But it's not a one-off. Fast forward to 1980 and Henry Thomas, a 73-year-old man living in South Wales here in the UK, is found dead in his home. This one's a little bit closer to home.
Yeah.
Here's where it all becomes eerily similar to Mary's death back in 51. Lying in an armchair, they found Henry's perfectly preserved legs and feet, still in trow, shoes and socks. But everything else had been completely incinerated. Just like Mary, his skull lay in a pile of ashes on his armchair.
Tiny skull or regular skull?
Regular skull. So apparently the tiny skull thing did happen again in other cases, but it's not necessarily a regular feature of this type of incident.
Right.
Nothing else in the room showed signs of a blaze. There was a living room fireplace, but there was no evidence of the fire traveling. Once again, law enforcement were at a total loss to explain Henry's death, and the case was ruled once again death by burning.
I mean, that's technically true.
It is technically true, but it's a kind of like a lazy cop-out.
Yeah. It's like someone's getting stabbed in the lung, and then their lungs fill with blood. It's like, I'm only drowned. That's a shame, isn't it? No paperwork for me, though. That's good.
Or like saying, like someone gets stabbed in the lungs and they're like, death by metal. And it's like, well, someone had to kind of drive it in there.
I think he fell on it.
The problem with this is the subsequent explanations by investigators got so far-fetched that people were suggesting that Henry got up from his armchair to stoke the fire, leaned over, and his hair caught fire, but he didn't realize it, and he sat down in his chair and completely burned away.
But the chair is fine, though, isn't it?
It is.
Wow, come on.
Now, it doesn't take a paranormal investigator to tell you that there is a problem with this theory. If your hair went on fire, you would not just let it burn you alive as you rest in your armchair. You would try and put it out.
Absolutely.
What would you do in this situation, Rory?
The situation of my hair being on fire.
I've got a lighter right now.
Bad idea. I'm going to keep, every time you light it, I'm going to blow that out. Okay. That is a bad idea.
But I just want to see what you would do in that situation.
Stop that.
No.
I know you're going to do it there.
Yeah, no, I thought you would notice that.
I'm just going to blow preemptively now. Right?
I think
just to keep the lighter.
I think if you would... Oh, it's on my hair now. Oh shit! I didn't expect this.
I'm a fire breather.
Okay, pat me down. Oh crap!
You're done. No, it's actually
what are you
spread it
supposed
now.
to do
It's
if you're
spreading.
on fire?
It's spreading.
Holy, am I
Stop,
supposed
drop,
to-
and
Okay.
sit and sit.
Shit.
What was it?
Sit?
Stop, drop, and just sit there.
Okay, I'm sitting.
It's like
Rory, it hurts.
it's like
It
it's like a
hurts.
bear. Make yourself big.
Oh,
Make
yeah,
yourself
like
big.
yell,
Yeah.
yell, okay. Ah! Oh, it hurts. I'm yelling because it hurts not. Oh, Christ.
Medical assessment. Death by burning.
That was very much self-inflicted, to be fair. Yes, my eyebrows are now gone. Yes, I have multiple burns, but my body is still here.
Right.
I'm not in a 2,000-degree blaze.
See, I wouldn't be in trouble if my hair ever went up because I have made sure throughout my life that I am never more than 3 feet away from an ice cold Bud Light. It's kind of like a weird thing that I do. I just make sure there's always a beer close on me.
What's the reason you think it's to put out fires?
Put out fires.
So why wouldn't you
Keep me buzzed, anywhere between those zones.
Well, I'm glad you said that because that definitely seems like more of
right,
why you do it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Look, all I'm saying is if fires aren't showing up, something's going to happen with these beers. So
you drink the beer.
I drink a lot of the beers.
Okay.
Most of the beers is just consumed.
Yeah. Have you ever put out one fire?
No.
Okay.
I actually consumed so many of the anti-fire beers, I started a small fire.
Really?
Yeah.
I get burny when I have too many.
When I get drunk, I get burny. I have to warn you.
It's a vicious cycle, really. The more I drink, the more I get burny, and the more I keep drinks around to put out the fire.
It's a vicious cycle. I stab in my sleep. And I burn when I get drunk.
You're an awful person.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
So that would explain the kind of Michelin Man style safety suit you wear at all times.
Yeah.
I mean, you're wearing borderline mittens at this point.
Oh, yeah. You should see me in a car. It's bad. I vomit in cars. Unless, of course, I got one of them icy cold Bud Lights to
Rory
calm
is
my nerves.
using his giant flame retardant mittens to grasp a giant bottle of Bud Light.
Yeah. Oh, it's fresh. I'm feeling burny. I will say. I'm feeling burny tonight.
So as I say, this isn't a once-off. By 1995, one man claimed that there was more than 200 documented cases of such spontaneous combustion globally. Scientists started wrestling with all of the issues surrounding this phenomenon. They started to look at all the cases of combustion. What are the threads that connect all of them? As early as 1823, one scientist had noted some of the similarities of these cases. 1. The victims are all chronic alcoholics.
Oh.
2. They are usually elderly females.
Okay.
3. The body
My
has...
kind of girls. Yeah,
elderly alcoholics.
Elderly
my demo.
alcoholics.
The hands and feet usually fall off. So this is like a list that someone put together.
Right.
I don't believe this to necessarily be true. I don't think they're necessarily all elderly females anymore.
If I was to drink like a bottle of bourbon or one of those high proof alcohols, and then like smoke a cigarette or eat some fire, would that kill me? Would I blow up?
This was a Victorian idea, was that alcoholics, they have so much booze in their bloodstream that if you just light a cigarette near them, they'll blow up. But like...
That's mad.
I don't know, I've seen a lot of like booze hounds.
Yeah.
And they're fine. I think if this is the case, people will be blowing up left, right, and center, but it doesn't really happen that much.
That's true. I mean, one guy that we know that used to booze more than anyone when we were kids.
That's true.
He had a trick where he would put a lit match in his mouth and hold it there, and then he could take it out with the match still lit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and he didn't explode or anything.
Actually,
yeah, when I think about it, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Shit.
Actually, damn. We need to get him on the podcast.
I'm going to see if he's on Facebook. He combusted.
Oh, okay.
He's dead. Yeah.
Granted.
Shit. I get him his Facebook picture. He's got like a tiny fucking head. I'm like, yeah, it's Tiny Steve. Love that guy. He put a match in his mouth. It was like a whole cigar.
So that note about alcoholism did cause people to closely examine the lifestyles of each victim. Could it be true they're all alcoholics? There is a lot of alcoholics in the world. In the case of Mary in Florida, she certainly did smoke and take sleeping pills, so she kind of partied, but there was no record of her drinking a lot. So how could that explain anything?
The fire? The smoke? No smoke without fire, right?
Although I think this explanation doesn't fit many cases, it might explain this one. In 1967...
Mary drank gasoline. She thought it would... Oh, shit, no!
A group of office workers were waiting for the bus around 5 a.m. when they noticed flames in the window of a nearby building. They immediately called the police, who rushed to the scene, where they found the burning body of a homeless man, Robert Bailey. They reported a blue flame was bursting out of a gash in his stomach 4 inches wide.
Jesus!
They managed to extinguish Bailey only by forcing a hose into his stomach to quench the blaze. At first they were puzzled because there was no sign of a fire around him, but they did learn that Robert was known to drink rubbing alcohol. So there's a good chance that he sparked up a crack pipe and set himself ablaze.
Is that even, like, nice? Rubbing alcohol?
No.
That's not going to be good, is it?
Oh my god, it's not going to be nice. It's just going to be, like, it's going to get you from 0 to blackout drunk, like, instantly.
What percent is rubbing alcohol?
Oh, I don't know. Like, what would it be? Like 90? 100?
What?
I guess it's 100.
That's not just poison?
Yeah, I guess.
Because it didn't end well for him.
No.
I would assume that it is just
There were
poison.
blue flames
Right.
coming out of a giant hole in his stomach. So
So
it
what,
didn't
like
end well.
48%?
I guess.
49?
That sounds like a pretty lit night on the town, actually.
Oh, nice. I see what you did there.
But despite easily solvable cases like that, there are many that defy science and God to this very day.
You know, you haven't said human combustion yet.
Huh?
It just, we're into this, maybe half an hour into this podcast yet, and you haven't once said human combustion.
What's that?
I'm about to blow your mind.
Uh-huh.
It's when humans
Right?
spontaneously combust.
Dude, that's so dumb.
Is it?
That's so dumb.
What is this? Your eyes slowly widen. I just cracked it. No, you didn't.
I read the top of the Wikipedia page I'm on.
I went straight to about. I didn't read the header.
So I might have used the words spontaneous and combustion in sentences, but yes, we're talking about spontaneous human combustion.
Or SHB. Tell it was slow. That's how long it took me to work out the abbreviation for that.
In India, one poor 3-month-old baby suffers from spontaneous combustion. That's right. He didn't die of spontaneous combustion, he suffers from it. His parents say that he overheats and that he has burst into flames 4 times already.
Right. That's mad. That's genuinely mad. What are they washing him with? Rum?
It's like, this is...
Yeah, we call him Charlie the Chugger. He loves a hard one.
I mean,
he's bursting into flames though. So
I'm smiling because this is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this is so awful. I'm about to show you a video.
What?
Of
what?
The baby's not on fire.
Please don't.
This is
You're
just
on
the
my
baby.
Wi-Fi, so I don't want to see that.
I don't want that shit tracked to my IP address.
Being treated by doctors in India after his parents claim he spontaneously combusted.
Jesus Christ!
So the baby is quite badly burned.
The baby is suffering from heavy burns.
He's very cute, though.
Scars all over his body.
Bad parenting.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, bad.
Yeah.
Treating the burns.
I don't understand. If this baby is bursting into flames,
Yeah.
and they know he's going to burst into flames, this is a thing he does.
Yeah.
I mean, can't you just look at his body, look what's inside him, and try and figure out how this chemical reaction is happening?
The problem is we're researching the paranormal here and we don't know what the mechanics of the paranormal are.
No,
It's the problem with the paranormal.
There's not enough time. There's not enough time. The world's coming to an end. Aliens are at our fucking doorstep, and you want me to learn science, biology,
How
physics?
rude. How rude.
I flunked that shit on purpose.
Kim
so I
Jong-un.
could get to the end quicker.
What do you mean the end?
The end of high school.
Oh, I thought you meant of humanity or some
No,
shit.
it was a major setback though. I flunked all my classes. They put me back.
It turns out life is pretty long. It's
Grade school 3 times, not just repeating a year. 1 to 8.
If you try and breeze through it, the dirty secret is they make you redo it all over again.
Yeah, it's kind of like a shitty life hack. We don't have time. I don't.
Yeah, so they check the baby's skin, they check the baby's rough like anatomy to see, is this baby leaking lighter fluid somewhere?
Right, like light a match. Is he okay?
Yeah.
10 centimeters away.
Yeah.
5 centimeters
Exactly, this exact type of thing.
away. Up his ass.
And they
Is that
no.
fine? No, that burned him.
Again.
Okay, go 2 centimeters then from the
I think
butt.
you do need to go back to school.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
They determined there was nothing weird about the baby's physiology.
Right.
You know, this worries people because they go, I think the skeptics are going to say these parents are negligent.
I'm saying it.
At best, they're leaving flammable substances around their baby. At worst, they are setting their baby on fire.
Yeah.
The baby's dad said, quote, "We're not crazy."
Drop it or I'll burn you too, to a newspaper.
F off. Give me my baby. I'm out of here.
As he left the room, he was quoted singing the lyrics, "I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter."
Baby hater. Paranormal investigator. The doctor's like watching him walk down the street. He's like, we should stop him.
Someone should do something, but I think we're all afraid he'll burn us. So we're just going to let this one go.
He said, "We're not crazy enough to burn our own baby," he told the New York Times.
It sounds like he's burning someone else's baby, the way he worded that. I'm not mad. I'm not going to burn my own baby.
Some people don't believe us, and I am scared to return to my village and hoping for some government protection. There's also the fear that our child could burn once again. So I know we always come back to this. What are the motives?
Yeah.
This family had to leave their village because they thought that there was something to do with their house or their living circumstances that were causing their baby to light on fire. So they actually moved village altogether. And he's saying, I want government protections. I want some sort of assurance this isn't going to happen again.
Right.
So I don't know. That sounds pretty legit to me.
Or did they get caught burning a baby and had to leave their village because of an angry mob?
Maybe. But how bad at burning your baby do you have to be? So this is pretty dark, but if you're trying to burn your baby,
Yeah.
do you have to do it 4 times and then get caught and talk to the New York Times and have to make up excuses?
I guess, yeah. And then why would you bring
I
him
feel
to the
like it's a
hospital and
one-time
stuff?
thing. Yeah.
That's true.
So anyway, we don't need to get too bogged down. That's just one crazy story. One other fascinating case comes from our motherland, Ireland, in County Galway.
No way.
On the 22nd of December 2010, Michael Faherty was found dead in his home. They found Mr. Faherty badly burned. They found that the fireplace in his living room was not the cause of the burning. The court was told that no trace of an accelerant had been found and there was nothing to suggest foul play. Coroner Dr. Kieran McLaughlin said it was the first time in his 25 years of investigating deaths that he had recorded a spontaneous human combustion.
So he's gone on record for saying that.
He's gone on record, not just to say death by burning. He's not
Right.
pussying out. He's saying there is no other explanation for this other than spontaneous human combustion.
Well, look, we know firsthand, we mentioned that a lot of these people that have spontaneously combusted, they're drinkers. They like a bit of the
true.
booze. We come from this place. We know Ireland. It's a boozy land.
Yeah.
I mean, rubbing alcohol
He was probably making
is
alcohol
what you put in your
when he
breakfast.
died. Yeah.
Yeah. Cheerios and rubbing alcohol is like 7 a.m.
That's what you give
Time to-
toddlers. Then you move them on to the hard stuff.
Yeah. Knives in the shreddies.
Knives in the shreddies, no milk.
Is it looking good for this dude? I know it's spontaneous human combustion again, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that his blood alcohol was flammable.
You're not wrong to suggest that. If that isn't enough for you, there have been 2 cases more recently right here in England. In September 2017, in London, Mr. John Nolan was simply walking down the street when he ignited into a fiery blaze,
No.
terrifying everyone around him. They were unable to help him and he was killed by the embers. Metropolitan Police in London found no probable cause or accelerant on his person. If anyone's wondering what accelerant means, that just means he wasn't doused in lighter fluid.
Right.
Like, if he was doused in lighter fluid, they would put this down to, a suicide.
Right.
But they found no such evidence on his person that could explain the ignition. And literally 1 week ago, December 27th, the exact same thing happened to a man in Hull. The police have appealed for information regarding the incident, but they say they are not looking for any perpetrator. The man clearly burst into flames all on his own.
I don't understand how this is happening.
This is happening literally right now. The Metropolitan Police have open investigation saying we are appealing for evidence for why a man burst into flames on a high street in London.
So if this is some sort of like chemical imbalance, I don't know how I haven't burst into flames yet. Because
That's a good point.
I think out of a lot of people I know, I would be the most likely person
Could you
to make a bomb in my own
Do you want
stomach.
to just like run us through like day in the life, Rory's like
Absolutely.
dawn to dusk,
Absolutely. All right.
Diet.
Well, and yeah, the diet plan.
and lifestyle.
Right. Okay. So first off, wake up, got to be healthy, go to the gym.
Brilliant. That's incredible.
So that's it. So beforehand, 6:30, 2 scoops of pre-workout supplement called C4 Explosive.
Okay.
I'm all right. Now I can see why this is looking bad.
Yeah.
It is genuinely called C4 Explosive.
And it's not legitimately C4. Is
No,
this a supplement?
It is a supplement. It's a pre-workout supplement that you take to. It kind of makes you feel like if you start moving, you'll die.
Right.
Like your heart is racing, your skin is itchy.
Really?
There's someone inside of you
Your
controlling
eyes
your
go
actions.
red,
It's very
hair starts
powerful
growing on the back of
stuff.
your palms.
You basically pass out for an hour, which is you working out, and then come to post session.
Wearing ripped purple jorts. With blood on your hands.
Then, after that, just to keep the buzz going, a couple of coffees before breakfast.
So no food.
No,
Okay,
not by then.
not
Not by
yet,
then. Lunch is
really.
when I have my first food, which is sugar puffs mixed with Cocoa Pops. And just to again, keep that energy flowing, I just smash up a couple of batteries and just put the juices in there, mix it all up with the
You
milk.
put battery acid
Right.
in your
With the milk.
cereal, which you eat at lunchtime, which is your first meal.
Yep. And then take the edge off that with another scoop of pre-workout supplement. Because
Are you going to work out again, or?
no, just I start really flagging post lunch.
Granted, probably
know.
the battery acids.
Right, yeah.
like it's kind of neurotoxic.
I get this
very
stabbing
bad.
pain everywhere.
Yeah.
In
Passing any blood? Anything
toast
like
to
that?
eyes, really bad, really bad. If I could see the knives, I would think it was stabbing, but I can't. So if it's not wizardry, I'm dying. Dinner, couple more batteries. Just on the way home on the bus.
9V, AA.
Double whatever you want, man. Sometimes I'll go for the
Doesn't
big
matter.
ones, the big old D's. It's just one D. It's like a hot dog. I put it in a hot dog bun.
Mustard, ketchup if I'm feeling fancy.
Mustard, ketchup, pre-workout. Sometimes I'll just put it all on this hot dog.
Mustard, ketchup, nothing can drown the taste of battery acid.
At dinner, a single lit match.
Just to tempt fate and flip off God all at the same time.
Yeah, I just eat a single match while giving the finger to heaven.
And calling my mom, leaving voicemail saying I didn't ask to be born.
And then precisely every night at 8:37, blackout.
Not pass out?
No,
Blackout? Okay.
It's immediate. It is sudden. And then boom, like clockwork.
I can't say
6:30.
it's without warning because it happens every night.
Just make sure you're home is all I'm saying, because I've been on the tube when that shit's hit.
I'm very much the belle of some ball because the pumpkin hits the rocks at precisely 8:37.
I can tell it's getting close. I'm scoffing down that 1D hot dog. I'm just racing home. Thank Christ I don't have any glass slippers, because I'd be eating them too.
In the middle of the night, I get carted off to A&E. They give me a blood transfusion, and I wake up back in my own bed at 6 o'clock, start it all over again. Okay.
Feeling great. The worrying part about that is the pre-workout is true. I do, I take something called C4 pre-workout.
And energy drinks. You like energy drinks?
I love energy drinks.
Yeah.
I'm really bad for that.
Cool.
Or good for it, because it makes me feel great.
Yeah. I try to be healthy, and I feel like shit. So, I don't know.
It's funny how, maybe this is why this dynamic of the podcast works. I think I'm the most likely person I know that will explode at any given second.
Yeah.
And you are the person that I know that at any given moment might just become a tree.
Right, okay,
Like
okay,
the
okay. I might
opposite of
just stop
exploding.
moving.
You might just
Han Solo style when he gets frozen into the carbonite.
right. You're just tree bark.
Yeah.
Standing there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you're super healthy. You eat soil and stuff and
Yeah.
worms.
Yeah, so
I think.
mostly start the day with just like a soil shake. Just you literally just go outside, man. Just
Nice.
all natural.
Do you shiv it or
organic,
anything, or just rocks and all?
Honestly, just sometimes the rocks are good for digestion.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
No?
They hurt on the way out.
Yeah,
granted.
in the way in probably too. I reckon.
that too. They're actually only good when they're in. They're bad in and out.
They're a bitch to keep down as well. So, side note, a bird shit all over me a couple weeks
Really?
ago. Yeah, really bad.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize until I was on the tube.
Really?
And I took my backpack off, and it looked like a dragon had sharded all down my back.
It was big.
It was enormous. I thought I
Really?
brought a different
And
backpack.
you were going to work.
Yeah, on the way to work. Down my
I
hood.
remember
down
bringing the shit-covered backpack to work.
I thought I left that at home. Yeah. It was bad.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to bin it now.
They say it's lucky.
Is it? I've had nothing but bad luck post shite.
Got fired, got dumped, got diagnosed with some awful disease from the bird shit.
Yeah, because I quote unquote refused to shower. Try and ring this one back.
All right, so in terms of the possible causes of spontaneous human combustion, skeptics pretty much maintain that in all of these cases, there is some overlooked ignition point. A cigarette, a fireplace, a lighter that kickstarts this process. And that, like the FBI said, the wick effect takes hold and they burn up like a big old candle.
Okay.
And I get it. Spontaneous combustion is pretty crazy, but this theory of theirs doesn't perfectly stack up either. For these people to burn up slowly like a candle, each victim would have to have already died, or else they would try and put it out.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
And at that point, why would the blaze not spread to other parts of the house and not be like literally the blaze is confined to knees upwards?
But then even if a body spontaneously combusted and burst into flames, wouldn't that burn crap around the nearby apartment? Like the chair and stuff?
Yeah, it definitely could. I think the argument against the wick effect in that respect is that spontaneous combustion, the body could be burning in a way that's different from normal burning.
Okay.
That it's not a slow burn that would spread to other things, that maybe it's just a big puff and a bang, and maybe that's why it doesn't
goes
spread
up,
to the other.
like when you light a Christmas cake and it's like whoosh, and then it's kind of out.
Yes.
You know?
And it goes out right away.
Yeah.
Additionally, some studies have tested how human flesh actually burns without an accelerant, and turns out it doesn't necessarily burn all that well. If you just took, as you say, a candle to your skin right now, you wouldn't just like burn up.
No, it's humans. We're filled with water.
Yeah.
You know, we are more water than literally anything else.
If you would like, I can show you some photographic evidence of spontaneous combustion cases. It's a little gruesome,
Good
but
Lord.
I think you want to see it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go for it. I don't feel like I could come to a conclusion without seeing the evidence.
So there's one, if you could see.
That's insane. It's just knees and gone. That's so weird. It looks like an art exhibition or something.
Yeah, because there's the outline of the skeleton.
Yeah.
This one's weird. Yeah, there's tons of these.
That's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, they're not as gruesome as people probably think they are who are listening to this podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
it's almost cartoonish. Like it's so unbelievable.
The last one I showed you there, it's literally a pair of legs that are just human legs, and then right at the thigh, it just becomes complete ash.
Yeah, just ash. Just like
ash,
it looks like
that's it.
mannequin legs poking out of an ash pile.
Yeah. Additionally, the wick effect cannot account for the cases that we've seen in the last couple of months.
Walking down the street.
In London and Hull, where they were still alive when they burst into flames.
Yeah.
I mean, in the more outlandish end of things, one researcher suggested a ball of lightning.
Okay.
Doesn't really
What,
work
out of
if
the
they're-
blue?
Doesn't really work if they're in their own home, I would say.
Yeah, that's true.
Most paranormal of all, some have suggested divine intervention as a potential cause. Could God be so pissed at someone that he cast them into flames?
Were these men and women sinners? I've done a lot of bad shit recently.
Right.
And I'm just a little worried I'm going to pop now.
Do you want to let us know any, so we know the scale of like how bad it is?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
I would... there would be people knocking on that door if I uttered a word about the murders. Shit! I said the M word. Oh, balls.
They work fucking fast, man.
I just pop. It was gross, but I somehow think he deserved that.
Regarding the divine intervention, I'm glad someone actually brought it up. In the case in Galway, in Ireland, The coroner stated that if divine intervention were the cause of spontaneous combustion, there would be a lot more cases out there.
Right. Is that just banter, though, or is he saying that his whole town are filled with, like, shitlords and criminals?
And he's a coroner, he probably does think that. Larry E. Arnold, in his 1995 book, Ablaze, claimed that it could be caused by extreme stress.
No. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Sometimes it is worrying when you read these things that you're like, wait, so you're a professional and that's what you think?
Yeah.
Maybe my favorite, people might remember that South Park covered spontaneous combustion in an episode.
Right.
And Trey Parker, one of the creators, revealed that the topic of that episode actually stemmed from his own serious belief that holding in farts could indeed cause humans to spontaneously combust. He said, quote, I honestly think it could be what spontaneous combustion is, because I've seen some dudes light their farts, and the fireballs were big, and that was just one fart. I'm serious, I think it's totally possible.
Is that true? Can you light a fart? I thought that was a myth.
Oh, that's true.
That's true?
Do you want to see a video?
Maybe.
I just turn around, spread my ass cheeks.
Jesus Christ. You made a poorly constructed fake YouTube window out of cardboard and spreading your ass. This is so grim. It's just 15 minutes of you struggling to fart. I think you might combust because you're pushing so hard.
I think this is the saddest thing I've ever YouTubed. Light fart on fire. All I'll say is this is going to be in the show notes, needless to say. So, I think this is a compilation mixtape of people lighting farts on fire.
Because I just assumed they'd like... I know this sounds even more insane. I assumed that these people had blown gas up their assholes and then farted it out with a lighter. I didn't want this to be how I spent my evening.
I'm sorry.
You see that? I did see that. I kind of wish I mean, he's doing it himself through his jeans.
This is so sad. Did you see that?
That burnt his asshole. He's
writhing in pain.
I didn't know this was a thing. See, that's insane because I didn't know. So is it generally creating a flame, or is it like the air blowing?
Genuinely
the
creating
gas?
a flame because they're expelling
Jesus
methane.
Christ. Yeah.
So we've seen a couple like legit.
Hell, he blew a fireball out of his anus.
He's a dragon, I think. So
the shittest dragon of all time.
I completely agree. This is not how I wanted this podcast to go, but you could say that this is the most concrete evidence we've had.
Oh god.
Because the whole premise,
so bad.
The whole premise of spontaneous combustion is that an internal chemical cocktail causes an explosion.
Are you happy that you might have just won an argument by showing me a compilation of grown men farting through their jeans onto a naked flame?
I'm actually pretty sad, man. I think I need like a career counselor.
That's not
or
how
something.
anyone should win any argument. And I'm so disappointed in myself. What you said, that's pretty concrete evidence, isn't it? If that gas is inside a human's body.
And this
and
is
it's flammable.
And back in 1823, that's what they documented.
The gassiest years of all.
They said, dirty secret of all these spontaneous combustion things is, they say there's no smoke without fire. There's no spontaneous combustion without some sort of source nearby.
Right.
Now, whether that's a fireplace in the corner of the room, whether that's a box of matches somewhere, there's always a source of fire somewhere.
That's true.
So,
and every crime scene stank of shit as well.
And every crime scene had YouTube open and compilations of lit farts.
Kitchens littered with baked beans, all empty. They wanted to set a record. There was a running camera in the corner. It was being periscoped. They'd even, before uploading the video, they had input the title into it. World's biggest fart blast.
They had already recorded the intro. Guys, if this doesn't kill me, it'll make me famous.
Remember to hit subscribe. Twisted Firefarter is my YouTube channel.
Oh no. So
every week I think is a low point for this podcast, and then
if
the
really
next one
feels
comes,
like it's getting lower.
Damn.
I swear. I brought you some evidence, some photographic evidence. some quotes, some New York Times articles with babies that have gone on fire 4 times.
Yeah.
Cases as recently as just last week here in England. What do you think of this whole spontaneous combustion business?
I hate to say it so much. I was so not on board until the fart video. Terrible sentence. Terrible sentence. I honestly did not know. Like, I knew that, there was like methane gas inside the human body. I didn't realize that it was so combustible. Like, the amount was so combustible that even a fart, like, man. If you are subscribed to the Patreon, please check out these research notes, because I assume Kit is going to put maybe like some of the biggest ones he can find.
Video. 100%.
It's genuinely pretty impressive. I did not know that actually happened, because this whole time I'm looking for a scientific explanation as to what chemical combination could, react in this certain way to make a body just combust. And, we got these cases where there's a fireplace nearby. We got somewhere someone's smoking or drinking alcohol, but then just the walking down the street ones.
That's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and just boom, burst into flames. I don't know. As we always do, Kit, you were the investigator. What are your thoughts on the case? You spent a lot of time with it.
Pretty fascinating. I mean, very recently I talked to a close friend of mine, and weirdly, before I ever thought of researching this, they brought up spontaneous combustion. They spread their friggin' ass cheeks.
I was just going to say, I was having a word with a friend of mine. Actually, I think he's here tonight. Kit, put your ass out.
I've drawn a face on my ass. Yeah, and my friend was like, oh, it's completely disproven,
right.
Spontaneous combustion. And a lot of people do think that. Skeptics will say that there's no scientific evidence.
Yeah.
But there's also no scientific evidence for why these cases have happened. And the police have admitted that.
We've had a lot of these recently, a lot of just can't disprove it, can't prove it.
Yeah.
You just got to use a gut feeling.
So
That wasn't a fart.
And then bring the hammer of justice down as hard as you can. And it doesn't matter who goes to the goddamn slammer, as long as it's the gut feelings behind it.
Exactly.
But I guess the question, as always, is it paranormal or not? Personally, if I'm to start drawing conclusions, I think whilst the mechanics are not entirely known, I think they lie in the realm of scientific possibility. I don't think this is paranormal.
That's a good way of looking at it. Because even if it is spontaneous human combustion, if it does actually happen to people, the way it's happening is a chemical buildup of a very natural, explainable body fluids, essentially, which isn't paranormal. That's very scientific. It's strange.
Definitely strange.
Yeah, but it's equally as strange as, people walking down the street and they have like a brain aneurysm and they just drop, and like that's could be dressed up as have you heard of insta-death? When people just die, it's like, well, yeah, but that's just a medical condition that it happens to people. It's kind of along those lines.
Yeah.
People just explode sometimes.
So I think we're chalking this up to a double no.
It's a double no.
God damn it.
I know.
I hate to side with the skeptics.
insane.
Bunch of asshats. I want to prove them wrong
Exactly.
one of these days.
I don't want to be part of the herd. I want to be the shepherd.
beating the sheep
mercilessly with my cane.
You clearly, like it now?
You don't know what a shepherd does. Keeps control of the flock.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see some more convincing paranormal cases coming up next week and beyond.
Yeah.
If you guys have any of your own experiences with spontaneous combustion, if you have survived a spontaneous combustion, anything like less interesting than that, don't even talk to us.
Absolutely not. Stop listening as well, actually.
Yeah, like, who do you think you are?
You know what? I'm going to go on record in saying that next week it's going to be my turn to investigate a new paranormal case, and whatever I bring to the table, I 100% with all of my being believe it is true. I'm saying that now.
Cool.
So that's going to be next week's
big
episode.
words.
Yeah, big words for big case, Kit.
Hard cut, and this is you just twisting my arm as hard as you can. Crap,
Say it's
Jesus,
real.
All right. If you have your own experiences, do send them in to thisparanormallifepodcast@gmail.com. You can get us on the socials at Twitter @thisparaLife, on Facebook.com/thisparanormallife, where you can also find the Secret Society. Very exclusive, lots of incredible research going on in there, and for that reason, we got to keep it on the Down low, man.
Exclusive but elusive. If you join, you will be kicked. If you comment, you will be booted, blocked, harassed. But please join and tell all your friends. But shut up.
As always, the show notes for this episode and our previous episodes, as well as incredible physical rewards, are located at patreon.com/This Paranormal Life. You can support the podcast if you wanna and get some cool stuff in return. There's a great community going on over there, so get involved.
Exactly. I'm gonna be real with you guys for a second.
Go on.
We were gonna stop because it was too hard. It was this job. It's like two
my hand
jobs.
was hovering over the delete key, the red button,
which is what you call a kitchen knife.
and it was hovering over my heart, what I call the red button. And Rory grabbed the fucking knife and he said, "What if there's an other way?"
Exactly. So miraculously, with all of your support, we've managed to make this thing work and worth the amount of time that we're putting into it. And for that, we are immensely grateful. So thank you very much to everyone that contributes.
And I've actually got some specific names to shout out for you right now.
Oh, wow.
And you can get your own name shouted out by supporting us at patreon.com.
I'm excited.
So thank you so much to Will Richardson.
Will Richardson, he is rich, and he is my son.
Joe Stackhouse.
Joe is stacked, and he's in the house. He is stacked,
boy.
he's jacked. He's got a hog.
Excuse
He's a
you.
pig with a hog.
Wow.
Thank you.
And I am a duck with a chick. Joe Stackhouse.
And a couple of quail eggs.
I think he could open a really badass pancake house.
Who's this guy?
Joe Stackhouse.
Oh yeah, Joe's house is a stack of pancakes.
Yeah.
Okay, you get that one for free.
This one's pretty cool. You gotta cut me in for 3% though. This one's pretty cool. Butane Murphy.
Butane Murphy? Murphy, you are a beauté in my eyes.
I'm gonna try and nail this pronunciation. Board Hogland.
I'm not bored of you, Hogland. I think you're pretty great.
Actually.
Despite what those f***ers say about you, Bort, or whatever your name is.
Smitty Johnson.
Oh, Smitty Johnson. He was my butler when I returned from the war.
Oh, Smitty, I used to beat you mercilessly.
We'd play Whip the Butler, Strangle the Butler.
He was always the butler. I always had the whip.
He loved it. Went weirdly Cockney there. Like, that's the evil side coming out. He loved it, the little shit. You were a good butler. I'm sorry I killed you.
Frozen Metalhead.
My man, Frozen Metalhead. Surprisingly, a really nice guy. Gentleman.
Real.
Stand-up guy.
Yokel Bear.
Yokel, you are the local in my heart. You're close to me is what I'm trying to say.
You're regular on these parts of my hearts. Rayan Abdul.
Rayan Abdul, I'd like a jewel from you, of which I assume you have plenty, Abdul. Ruby or emerald or diamond.
Paul Terry. Wow.
Sorry, just
John Paul.
the monetary value of
Okay.
either any of those stones.
John Paul Terry.
John, Paul, you make me merry. I love you. Peter's in there somewhere as well. He was a disciple.
Sometimes they say people, wow, 2 first names. He's got 3 first names in his name.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sean Wills.
Sean Wills. Wills he contribute to this Paranormal Life Patreon? He wills.
Eckelmon.
Eckelmon is like my favorite Pokemon. Oh, is he fairy type or something? If I had an evolved stone,
Nerd
I would
type?
shove it down your throat so fast,
God.
you would become the most beautiful Pokemon, and you would be trapped in my ball forever. That was supposed to be
Really
endearing. That came out
confusing
really
statement.
threatening.
Yeah, I don't like
apologize
that at all.
for that.
I'm gonna cut
Apologize
that,
for my
actually.
actions.
And I can't believe this is happening, guys. Alex Jones.
My God, the Alex Jones,
Lord Alex Jones.
Oh my goodness. I guess we are humbled in your presence. You are the competition. You are also king. We are the jesters in your courtyard. But one day we will come for you in the night.
Hattie Bisdee.
Hattie Busy. You keep this hat busy. Hat being my brain, and busy being doing shit.
It's 4 a.m. We're just burning the midnight oil.
They're getting progressively worse. Since we decided we were going to do this, they're getting worse. They were clever at one point, I think.
Jessica Liedk.
Jessica Leak. There's no leak in this boat. Because you know what it's called? The goddamn SS Friendship.
Here's a short one for you. Jess.
Jess. I actually like Jess. She sold me my 7th car when I was in the market for it for a steal, as in she stole the money and the car.
You don't own a car.
No, she stole the car too.
I was going to say.
Why do you think she didn't put her last name in there? She knows I'll track her.
She's taunting me at this point. Danny White.
6th car from Danny, that was.
Why are they
when I was young, dumb, and full of money. I didn't realize people could steal from me, but Danny was the first. Followed by Jess.
Joe Hutchinson.
Joe Hutchinson. He's just a good guy. I actually know him pretty well. They call him Average Joe, but I think he's above Average Joe.
That's beautiful, dude.
Thank you.
The Drawlers.
I mean, he's boring as but I mean, he's a good guy.
On.
He's got a heart of gold.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Fine.
Mean, but sure.
Also fine.
Just end it.
The Drawlers.
The Drawlers? Is it like a group?
Maybe they're a band or something.
That's kind of cool.
I'm just going to go right ahead and shout them out because hovering over their icon here on Patreon, I can see that their Facebook page is facebook.com/The Drawlers.
I don't know what or who you are. I hope you're not some sort of race hate group because we just gave you a shout out. But whatever you're doing, thank you for the contribution. It turns out it's very race hating. I thought those were ghosts.
Very racy.
Business.
Very hatey. Sexy racists. A lot of them. Look, I don't believe in Sasquatch. Baldock.
Luke, you're treading on thin ice there, buddy. Much like Sasquatch himself during the icy winters. He's a heavy-set man. And you know what? I'm a heavy-set man. And if you don't watch yourself, me or Sasquatch are going to come and teach you that we do exist. But also, thank you so much for the contribution for the podcast. That's very much appreciated.
And actually, you're a gentleman in that regard.
Yeah, really are. And I think we said that Bigfoot wasn't real. Also.
Great. Yeah. Just for the record.
Just for the record.
So, thank you so much to all of you for contributing on Patreon. It's a cliche, but we really couldn't do it without you. It makes the entire podcast possible. It makes living possible. It makes my life that little bit less miserable.
That little flickering candle in the wind just got a little bit brighter.
Yeah. So every time someone leaves Patreon, a
little bit darker.
I'd be lying if I said it didn't just make me a little bit closer to the edge.
Yeah. Anytime those monthly downloads take a little dip, whoa.
I know, it's all fun and games to the listeners.
That's a rainstorm.
To me, it's a torrent of shit.
That is the wax from the life candle dripping down my arm, searing the hairs. I can smell them. I have a wax hand at this point, people. A wax fist. I am angry and cold. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry.
The worst combo. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. Check out the show notes.
Absolutely.
Check us out on socials, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to This Paranormal Life.
This Paranormal Life. It's like the surround sounds of the thing.
This Paranormal
Life. Surround like. On this podcast, you can hear a pin drop, bing, and the roar of a UFO jet engine.